So, we all learn lessons. Lessons.
Life lessons.
Every God-blessed day. Every holiday. St. Patty's Day.
What lesson did you learn?
Eat before you start drinking.
Yes.
Dudes like us would say. I'm Sean.
I'm Paul.
And I'm Jeff. Yep. Sean got, he and I, you weren't there yet, Paul, and we went to the rugby house. And it was packed there, having their celebration for St. Patty's Day.
Packed everywhere.
Of course, we, we had some samples and whatnot at Total Wine. Of course, they're nice samples. And we go there. He gets a shot of Irish whiskey for us from Jameson.
Yeah. 2 shots of whiskey, and we'll make up our mind on the beer in a minute.
Yeah. And
But you did 2 shots of whiskey.
Well, he did. I only did
total
one.
of 2, yeah.
But anyway, we drank this whiskey, and we both looked at each other like, it's very watered down.
Yeah, it's like
It's only 80 proof.
It's
We're
like
just
it's like
yeah.
nothing.
we're just
Yeah,
like, wow, this is
what a
just
It's like very flavorful tea.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, this is nice.
tea is a good word for it. Yes.
It's like whiskey and water.
He even asked the bartender, "What Irish whiskey is that, Jameson?" Wow, it tastes watered down. He's like, I don't water anything down.
Oh, wow! So you right out of the gate, you insult the bartender.
I just told him
That's
it tasted
my
watered
my
down.
job, isn't it? To insult the bartender and get thrown out.
Oh
Typically,
yeah,
yeah.
You've done that before.
I have.
Yes, you have.
A couple times.
But I wasn't very late to the game, and by the time I got there, Sean, you were like, "How you doing? How you
He's like,
doing?"
I had a chicken strip and a mushroom for lunch or something.
I
Like that.
was,
No, he's
I
a
was,
waffle and an egg.
I was,
Austin and I
pretty.
split.
I was pretty shocked at how loopy you were by the time I got there. I was maybe 45 minutes after you guys, an hour at tops.
An hour at most, because we were like maybe 2 beers in.
Yeah, it was pretty
So
funny.
I wasn't drinking them
It didn't
fast.
take much for me to get drunk to start with, especially on an empty stomach.
Yeah.
And boy, oh boy. I thought the bartender was just being a dick, but he's probably doing me a favor.
Well, people always make the mistake, like you said, eat before you drink. A lot of people start drinking and then they're like, oh, shit, I'm starting to feel it already. I'm going to go ahead and eat so that it'll soak it up.
Right.
It doesn't work that way.
Yeah,
Like-
well, what's happened has happened.
Like the food, right. The food blocks the port, so to speak, and then you let the alcohol pile up behind the food that's blocked the port, and then it absorbs more slowly into the bloodstream. But once the alcohol's in the stomach, and you eat,
It doesn't do anything.
nothing is stopping
just
it from.
You're a very full drunk.
Yes, yeah, basically, yeah. You have a swollen stomach and you're shit faced. Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
And that's when you puke.
I guess that was a fun night though. We had fun.
I don't remember.
Do you remember going for dinner?
Yeah, I do. I remember. I mean, it's kind of fuzzy though. I mean, honestly,
Tara said you fell asleep at the table. I did not see that. But
I
she
didn't
said
see that either.
I don't-
I
She
was
said you
I
fell
was told
asleep.
that as well. I was like, I don't remember that.
Yeah,
yeah, whatever. You know,
he was down in the end.
We didn't stay
He
out.
pulled out his CPAP, his portable CPAP.
Just kind of snoozing right
Put it
there.
on, yeah, he's like, I'm going to sleep.
We didn't stay out that late either.
No, we did.
No, we were bed. No, it was like 10 o'clock. We were at home, I think.
I thought so. Yeah.
Yeah, because I fell asleep. I mean, I vaguely remember even getting home, but I woke up around 11:30, 12, and wide awake, and I'm like, "What the fuck happened all night?" You know what? And I started thinking in my mind, "Oh yeah, I made fun of that rugby player.
Yes, you did.
Oh,
I looked down at my
couple.
body, made sure I was in one piece. I was like, no damage. All right, that's a good sign."
So that was the couple that was leaving when I was coming in, basically.
Yeah, we wanted to snag their
Yeah.
seats, and
Well,
Sean
that
went
was
over there
so
and
lit, man.
insulted them.
Well, hold on. I went over there at first, and I didn't insult anybody. All I just says, "Hey, look, we've got some friends coming. If you guys are leaving, I'd like to commandeer those seats and kind of be here, just in, because there are people jockeying for position. So I was trying to get ahead of that. And he was like, that's a smart idea. That's a smart idea. And we just started chatting, and man, I just open mouth, insert foot. Man, I just don't know how to say things sometimes, even though the intention wasn't to be bad and ugly at all. But we're talking about rugby, and I don't know that much about rugby. And I'm like, that's such a gay sport.
Oh.
And in my mind, I was thinking, dude, that wasn't the right word.
Well, first off, you found out that he played rugby
Well, because he wore the OU
for
rugby shirt.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, he had an OU tie on. And I was like, that's a gay sport. And my brain was kind of like, wait a minute, wait a minute, flag. I don't think that's the word you wanted to use. And then I was like, yeah, I didn't mean gay. I meant like queer. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't think that was the word either.
Yeah.
I just mean it's an odd sport. And eventually, after backpedaling like 2 or 3 minutes, I was just like, dude, what I'm trying to say is that it's not in the mainstream of sports.
Correct.
And then I turned around and emphasized that it's gay. No, I'm joking. I emphasized
Only gay people play it.
that it's an odd sport and it's just different from everything we're used to. However, every clip that I've ever seen watching rugby, it is nonstop action.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, I watch a game and you're like, I can't get enough of it because it's nonstop. It's not like, 4 downs and you're done. I still don't know how the hell they play it, but it's kind of like, oh yeah, just because you're down doesn't mean shit. That just means you're down.
Right.
And you get the ball and you.
I think it's done until either someone scores or they steal it from you and they go the other way. I think that's big.
Well,
Again, I'm not the
and
expert.
then if there's a stopped ball for some reason, then they have the scrum.
Then they have the scrum.
But even the scrum is quick.
So what's the difference between that and Australian rules?
I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure.
Because I don't think they have the scrum in Australian rules.
Yeah, I know
They
you
have-
can't kick a field goal in regular rugby,
Maybe that's
but you
what the
can
difference is.
in Australian.
Does
rules.
rugby do where they throw it in and then they lift the guys up really high to try to catch it? Maybe that's Australian rules.
I don't remember
It's
that
like
in rugby.
it's like they line up on the side and they throw it, and the teams like pick guys up to try to catch the ball.
Well, first off, in rugby, you can't throw the ball forward.
Yeah, it
you
has to
can
be
only
backwards.
pitch it backwards.
I think Australian rules is the same way.
Yeah.
So I was talking to this guy, continuing, and
We're just ignorant on both those sports. So
yeah, well, there you
for
go.
sure.
It's like
Absolutely.
well, like you were saying, it's an oddball sport. We've
Right.
never
Yeah.
played it growing up. We never watched it on TV. Why
No.
would we know any of the rules, right?
right.
So I'm talking with, and the lady, his wife, I'm assuming his wife, she was just like, I guess she poked her head over at you and says, "Oh, he's very personable," and it's like he said he's got like one egg and one waffle for all he ate today, and he's just
Well, first you lean over and go, "Is he with you?"
Did she really?
So I
like
was
it's problematic.
I was
So,
like-
so
I was
that
like-
was her nice way of saying this guy's an asshole.
I didn't hear any of the conversation. I was like, "Yeah, he's with us over here," and then she goes, "He's very personable."
Like,
I don't know what that
can
means.
you get
but-
him? Can you get him away from
You can't
us?
be negative about that. I mean, he's very personable. I mean,
It's an odd thing to say.
Yeah,
well, it's about as odd as rugby's gay.
Right.
I guess she was trying to one up me.
Maybe.
right.
Yeah,
she,
but
she
then-
might have been.
She turns around and she says to me, "Is that your wife? She's gorgeous. What does she see in you?"
She said that.
Yeah. And
Wow,
I
that
was
was a
just-
really mean thing to say.
it was. And I took it in and I
But
was
she was
kind of
being
like,
she was retaliating.
Yeah,
with,
she was
Yeah.
not pleased.
you must have offended her, and that
Yeah.
was her way of getting you back.
My inner monologue was like, I'm just gonna show a little grace because this is not gonna end well for anybody.
if you get ugly,
Yeah. Well, I mean, for all parties involved.
sure.
No, but that was kind of
That-
crazy.
That was rude.
It was.
No, it was totally rude.
It was rude that she said that, and I was kind of like, that was kind of odd, coming from someone that's got fatty arms.
Or
know?
did you say that?
No, I'm just. I'm thinking of all these things that I could have said. I was like,
I'm glad you didn't.
I just showed grace, and I was kind of
Yes, good
I
for
was
you.
like, I have no idea, and I was like, I don't know. I didn't always look like this, but I've always been hung like a hamster, and I just kind of laughed and just kind of like
yeah,
just
that was.
show humility and just kind of like shut the fuck up, man.
That's good. I'm glad you handled it with maturity and.
Well, was the guy a big guy? He seemed tall.
He's a little bit taller than me,
He
but
seemed older though, wasn't he?
he just seemed.
I didn't
older.
even look
He
at
was-
either one of them.
He was he kind of
I
buffed all up when
I never saw him. Yeah.
or was it puffed all up when I said that it was gay. And you know what, whatever. At the end of the thing, we're all just having fun, and there was nothing really ugly that was that he and I talked about. Really, the only thing ugly was his wife when she said that to me about what is she seeing you. I was just like, God damn.
You should have been like, "Yeah, I know. I don't know."
The only thing I did notice is that when they were walking away, she gave a dirty look.
Oh, really?
That was the only thing I noticed, and that's why I was kind of like, "Is there something going on over there?"
Yeah, I didn't pay any attention to either one
I
of
did
them.
see that.
I didn't even see him leave. I don't even give a shit. I don't give a shit. I still don't give a shit.
Right. It was a fun night. We didn't stay there very long.
No, we didn't. We were hungry. I needed to eat, but no. And we were hungry because I was kind of like, I need to eat. Let's order some corned beef. And
well, the ladies didn't want anything on the menu. The menu was very limited.
Yeah, it was.
It's Irishy type food, right? So the corned beef and cabbage.
Shepherd's pie,
fish and chips. I think that may have been about it.
Yeah, it was. It was very limited.
Yeah. Well, shout out to the Rugby's place in Frisco, Texas.
That was the first time I've been in there.
It's a cool little place.
Corner of Dallas North Tollway and
no, it's Preston.
Yeah,
it's Preston and
Preston
121.
Oh, at 121. Yeah, you're right.
Southeast corner.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. Out there in front of PGA Superstore.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I mean, the places I've been there once or twice in my life. And both, they were all they had a different theme. I think they've been owned by different people, maybe because they've got some different stuff going on in there. But whatever.
I think we learned something when we were ordering the drinks, right? I got the green beer, and we were looking at the tab after the fact, and it was like the green beer was like $3, and my wife was drinking like bourbon and Coke, bourbon and Coke, and it was like $4 or $5. And then we were like, oh, let's get old fashions. $14 a drink. It's like, man, what a big jump from like
$3.50 to $14.
$14. I was like, okay, we need to be a little smarter about what we're ordering when we're trying to drink on a budget, right?
I'd like a bourbon with 1 ice cube, please, and then bring your own old fashioned mix.
Yeah, but I mean, really, what's in an old fashioned that is any more expensive
than nothing? It's
than
bourbon,
getting a bourbon
bitter, and fruit.
It's $14.
It's all about demand.
That was crazy. I mean, that's
Economics
like
101.
Like you said, that's like Disney World prices.
Yeah, the one I had at Disney World was the best old fashions I've had. It was $16, and it was a huge drink. It was a nice pour,
right?
120 proof Knob Creek. Special edition.
Hey, so you got a much better deal than this.
Yeah.
What was the bourbon we ordered for that? Was it a special?
I didn't get one. I think
it was Maker's Mark.
Kentucky Deluxe.
Yeah.
Williamsburg.
Was it? I didn't get one. Did you get? Was it any good?
It wasn't bad.
I didn't get one. I got one at the other place.
I think. Who got the?
No, I didn't.
Who got the other?
Coke.
Yeah. No, you got an old fashioned.
No, I got a bourbon and Coke because we were talking about that. We were talking about how you were talking about the difference in the prices, and so while we were there, I ordered a bourbon and Coke. I recall that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because it was $6.
At the rugby house?
No, at the second place.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember.
I got
Where
you.
was that place? I mean, what was it?
That was Mashed.
Mashed. That's right.
I don't remember. I remember being in there. I don't remember walking in there or...
You did fine. I didn't notice you'd fallen asleep.
Yeah,
but
no, you were...
You did fine.
Yeah, you weren't crazy or obnoxious or loud or anything.
The
That kinda
menu
goes along
was
with that.
very limited.
I don't know about that.
It just seemed to me like it was limited. Then whatever burger I ordered came with an egg on it.
Yeah.
Yes, it did. Because you ordered the one that came with an egg on it.
I don't remember seeing that.
Oh, the trash can or something like that.
It wasn't just like a random ad by the chef. It was on the menu.
It said fried egg.
It's St. Patty's Day, and his last name is Murphy. Let's just throw an egg on there.
Did they put it in front of you? Like, let's got an egg.
Got some sausage?
Actually, fried eggs are really good on burgers.
Yeah, it was good.
I don't think I've ever. I'm not a big fan of fried eggs, though. I'm just not. I like scrambled. I'm good with scrambled. I just
no. It's got to be typically the kind you'll see is with the gooey inside.
Is that because you don't like the gooey?
Yeah, I don't like the gooey. I can't do it. It's a 5-year-old thing. I get it.
Yeah.
But that one I at least have tried before, and I'm like, I really don't like the taste of the yolk. I really don't.
It's an acquired thing.
It is. I couldn't eat that kind of egg for the longest time, and probably within the last 5 years, I've been able to eat those.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, when I growing up in Germany, it was common to have hard-boiled eggs cooked, not so hard, soft-boiled eggs.
Soft-boiled.
And that's the way they would serve them. And in Germany, they make these egg dishes, and you set the egg in there, and they've got these little special egg crackers,
little hammers.
That kind of it's more of something that kind of pops a crown off an egg, like a cigar cutter sort of deal.
Right.
And they use the eggshell as a little dish. Essentially, they got a little spoon, and you go in there, and it's soft, and it's got the white. That,
Can you shoot it? Like an oyster?
I don't think so. I don't think it separates inside the shell.
No.
But I grew up eating eggs like that, so it was easier for me because that wants to broach in with some of that bread that they have there. Right. It was actually pretty good. I enjoyed it. I guess if you grow up with it, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
So St. Patty's Day, we continued the celebration.
The next night.
Yeah, the next night because
that's right, we did.
Well, because St. Patty's Day was on a Friday, and I had we were going to have it at the house, but we were working. So Tara likes to she likes to cook and make the Irish thing. She fucking hit a home run with the menu. I mean, the corned beef.
Good. Corned beef was delicious.
The chicken and the mashed potatoes.
I didn't have any chicken. The potatoes were tasty as well.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
I particularly like the chicken and the mashed potatoes.
I like sauerkraut. I'm not a fan of cooked cabbage like that. I ate it.
I love cabbage.
Well, I ate it, but I much prefer it in sauerkraut form.
Yeah.
Or slaw.
It was fun that night. We karaoke'd the shit out of that night.
Oh, my God.
How long did you guys go after Julie and I left?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. I just remember we left 2 hours after Shelley started her, hey, can we wrap it up?
So you lasted a while. Yeah.
2 hours of her asking me to go.
I think.
Was she pleased?
No, she was not pleased.
I think
she was displeased.
And Desiree left around 2:30.
Holy shit!
And you guys were still going? Long? You were there still?
I don't know. I guess so.
Well, yeah, because we wrapped it up around 2:30. What, Mr. Producer? What time do you think we wrapped it up?
On Saturday night.
Yeah, I think it was. It was late, man.
I think we left about 10:30 or 11.
I sang a bunch of stuff that I don't even, I don't do, and I was doing Neil Diamond because I know my dad likes Neil Diamond. He was there, so
Oh yeah, he ended up leaving before all of us.
Yeah,
hopefully he had fun. I talked to him for a while.
He did. He's not as most dudes like us may have gone through or will go through. Dads don't do well. Your dad had an episode. My dad is having episodes, and both my parents, everyone's
You're
parents.
saying just general health?
Yeah, he's got stuff going on, and he's going to the doctor frequently, and there's a tweaking here, tweaking there, and, you can see he's got the shakes, and he's starting to show signs of dementia, and...
Well, he'll be 81 this year.
Yeah.
Well, I was talking to him about my dad, and I don't know how we got on it, but I told him, I was like, hey, we flew out there, he just had a heart attack, and he's like, oh no, how old is he? I was like, well, he turns 81 next month, and he goes, oh, I'm turning 81 too, so that's not good. So
right,
Yeah,
hopefully his heart's good.
I think my dad's 82, so yeah, they're all kind of in that same spot.
Yep.
You never know what's going to happen. Well, I mean, hell, you never know what's going to happen when you turn 60.
No.
Yeah, I mean, recently, at this point, we're entering the realm of
shit breaks,
and shit. Any weird shit can happen.
I just went to the doctor. I had my yearly physical 2 Fridays ago. We haven't had a podcast, so it was.
I know it's been a while.
It's right before our spring break, so it was before. It was the week before spring break, and everything checked out good. So my triglycerides were the only thing that were high.
Okay.
And she asked about family history, and told her about my dad that just happened, and my uncle died from a heart attack. She's like, all right, well, just because of the history, she goes, your EKG's fine, everything's good.
Okay. But
I want you to go get a stress test.
Okay, yeah, so that's always a good idea. So you've never done that before?
No,
You've never done like an ultrasound of the heart and done a blockage test?
No, I haven't done any of that. So she called it in. Actually, they've been calling the shit out of me all last week to schedule it. But I need to be in front of my computer to be able to schedule it. So I'm going to schedule a stress test, which means I'll probably drop dead from running on the treadmill.
No. Yeah, that's the most dangerous thing, is getting the stress test.
Yes, because my cardio is not good as far as I can't run very far. I don't know if most people can if you don't do it often.
Right.
So I get to do that. She did not have to probe the prostate. She did not do it this time.
Oh, that's good.
She said that...
were you disappointed?
Well, I was prepared. I mentally prepared for it. And she asked me, she goes, we were all done. She goes, do you want me to check your prostate? And I was like, Well, if it's an option not to,
I
I'm
didn't
okay with
realize
that.
it was an option.
She's
No,
like,
you're laying on your back with your ankles
I was
around
already
your...
in the stirrups.
Yeah, they're
Full
your
nude.
ankles are behind your ears. Sir, we don't have to do that today. No. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
It's full nude as
Good
well.
Lord. I
Full nude.
I shaved.
Sir, you don't have to. It's all right. It's all right.
No, she said that since is it the PCA?
I've already pre-lubed.
The prostate cancer whatever
PSA.
PSA. She goes, your PSA is perfect. You just had a colonoscopy less than a year ago.
Yeah.
She goes, we don't have to do it.
Good.
This time. I was like, she's like, all right. I go, I have to mentally prepare for this every year. She's like, I know.
Oh yeah.
You know.
But even
So-
when you're prepared,
It's like,
oh
well,
God,
so do I,
you know what?
yeah.
We always. I think this is the most talked about topic in podcasts because I'm about to share my urology story, which I'm not going to now because we hammer the crap out of this topic.
Well, no, I get nervous every because we're at the age where like shit starts going sideways. I was like, all right, what am I going to find out this time is
Yeah.
wrong, right? So is it something, right?
Well, that
So-
one you don't want to mess around because I mean that is totally preventable. You know
Oh,
what I
yeah.
mean? Like if you do find out you have prostate cancer, it's very, very treatable as long as you catch it early.
correct.
And so many guys are like, oh, I'm not doing that. I'm not, Well, they're just being, just being stupid, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah, my PSA was 0.6 and it has to be below 4.
That's good.
So it was good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a little mole pop up on my nose, and I like within 2 days I was like in at the dermatologist going, I'm running my finger over this, and it feels raised to me, and I just want to check it out. And
Right.
yes, it was $83 for him to look at me for literally 19 seconds.
And him go, yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah, he goes, oh yeah, no, it's this and this and this and that and that.
Did he check the rest of you out?
Well, I do that once a year,
Oh, okay.
but this one was a one-off because it popped up out of nowhere.
Right.
And anyway, I mean, it's important to take care of that
I've
shit.
done that.
Skin cancer is another one. That
It is.
if you catch it early, you're going to be in good shape. So I
And
mean, it behooves all of us to be aware of what's going on inside and outside our bodies, and just take care of that shit.
I've already had 2 surgeries for skin cancer.
Right.
One on my shoulder, and when that changed is when we came back from Tahoe when Sean went with us, because I don't know if it was all the sun we got out there maybe, because
Right.
it started changing color on me. So I went in and they looked at it. They're like, yeah, they sampled it or whatever they did, biopsied it. They
Right.
came back. I mean, there's different levels of skin cancer. So it's the good kind, the basal cell, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, then they have the ones that are could turn into something someday. So might as well jump on it now and get it removed. Right.
Well, the
So-
basal cell will continue to grow. So if you don't get it when it's small, like I had one on my face, right? So that was a basal cell, and they took that out. But if I wouldn't have done anything, it would have continued to grow and take over my nose and the face.
Oh, you would have been like the tree man
I would have.
with like a limb growing out
Like
of your
the
nose.
elephant man, yes.
Yeah.
So,
So, but it's not cancerous. It's just something that
it's
is
basal cell
looks nasty.
carcinoma. It's basal cell carcinoma. It's a cancer, but it's not
not
it's not
leaf-
melanoma.
right. It's not a fatal.
Melanoma is the bad kind.
Interesting.
Melanoma will kill you.
Yeah. No, my dad had some of that. So that's another thing. Again, you have to think about, be aware of your family history stuff, right?
Correct.
That's important.
So yeah, the physical went well. I was pleased. I now just need to schedule my stress test.
Yeah. Yeah. Take care of that. That's good.
I got a litany of tests I need to sign up for. I'm kind of dragging my feet on it, but I need to
Which
get the
ones?
ball rolling in it. All of them. Stress test.
Oh,
Well,
you went for your physical though, did you?
I did. Got blood work. Everything's good.
Yeah.
Just need to get those stress tests done and get my shoulder looked at.
Your colonoscopy.
Get the colonoscopy.
I thought you already did the colonoscopy.
No.
Oh. But you.
I did. I had mine last summer.
Oh, I'm confused. I thought you did a procedure and we were like, you were telling us that you were prepping for it and.
No, that wasn't me.
Maybe you were dreaming that. You're just like, I can't wait
Oh.
for Sean to do
Oh, I
dream
can't
about
maybe.
it.
wait.
Maybe.
Sean blasting
I-
his
I
ass out.
Yeah,
want-
thinking about him in that
I want to
gown.
be that doctor. Is
Again.
that what you're thinking?
The gown with the front, there's no back.
Oh yeah, so your ass. Is,
I wouldn't even wear a gown. I just walk around with, hey, how you doing?
no, they wheel you back.
I'd have my T-shirt on. That's it.
Then, well, you strip down nude, and you put the gown
The
on,
little gown on, yeah.
and it's open in the back, and then they wheel you back there to the operating room or procedure room or whatever it is. And they say, all right, lay on your side.
and then they give you the stuff.
And they give you the propofol, and then you're just like,
yeah, and they say count down to 1, and you're like 10, 9,
out. Next thing you know, you're waking up.
and that's the freakiest part of it. The next thing you're up, you're like you open your eyes, and it's like literally no time has passed,
Right.
and they're like cleaning you up, and you're like, what's happening?
Well, you're already clean. Well, I was anyway. They weren't wiping my ass or anything when I woke up.
I mean, they were just kind of moving me around.
That's so horrible. You wake up and you feel someone wiping your bottom, and you're like, God.
God, that's the freakiest thing. I remember when I had my shoulder surgery.
Yep.
And the same kind of thing. I counted
They
down,
were wiping your bottom.
and then next thing I know, I open my eyes, and there's a guy standing in front of me. I've never seen him before, and he goes, "Congratulations, that was the worst." He said it was the worst shoulder he's ever seen for a man your age. And I'm just blinking. at him.
He's like, when's the surgery?
I'm like, what are you talking about? Where am I?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is a very strange feeling. You've never been put under, have you?
Yeah, once. A long time ago, I had a.
It is. I mean, my shoulder was the first time. I mean, I had wisdom teeth way back.
Oh, twice.
Way back, but the shoulder, it is. I remember them because you're in the little prep area, shaving wherever they need to, and then they get you all hooked up with the IV, then they wheel you back, and it's cold as shit in there for one thing.
Oh yeah.
And you're just laying there, and they put your arm where it needs to be, and then they push the stuff. All right, count back from 100. I think I got to 99, and I was waking up. That's what it was like. I'm serious, 99. Then you just wake up, and I was sitting in the recovery room, right?
Right.
And I'm just like, and your arms in a sling.
I think it's funny too how nowadays, like 4 different people will come up to you and talk to you about what's going on before the surgery, and they always say, "So, what are we doing today?"
Yes.
And you're like, "Yeah, my right shoulder."
They'll
Okay,
write
you want to point to it?
Yes.
Okay, that's the shoulder. Okay, because you hear these horror stories of people waking up and their left leg is gone
Right.
when they came in to like take a
hangnail off or something.
right.
Yeah. So then they'll initial it too. A lot of doctors will initial it too, saying, "All right," and the surgeons will initial it.
It's just amazing that could even happen.
It does.
It's incredible how it happens.
It does.
Yeah. Anyway, it's kind of funny, but
anyway, you get to experience it.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that, but I
It's
am
not bad.
I'm looking forward to getting it behind me.
Yeah, it's not bad.
they're calling
No pun intended.
No, they'll get behind you all right.
The mental work up to it was worse than the actual thing.
It wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a big deal. The biggest thing is after going through the horrific, drinking the stuff or taking the pills. Some
Correct.
people do pills.
I do pills.
I did this stuff, which was awful. And you go through that whole cleansing thing, and then you're starving to death after you're done with the procedure. And to me, it was like we're going straight to Whataburger.
Right.
Right? That was like the exciting part because I was so freaking starving.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Do we want to?
that's what dudes like us have to do nowadays, man.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Take care of all that stupid stuff.
It's just age and
If
shit
it
that
isn't,
goes along with it.
it's funny. Our lives seem to be dominated by either health things that we have to go do or house things to fix.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Let me tell you the latest on my house thing. So, during the winter, you would think that's when you would use your spa, more often, right? I have a pool and
Nice warm
in a
spa.
Right. Not when the weather is like totally freezing, like you can't get out and you die on the way into the house. But anyway, so it started to warm up a little bit. We thought about, getting the spa heated up. And of course, it didn't work.
Your heater.
Yeah, my heater didn't work. So I go out there and I'm like, this is like a regular thing where I have to pull it apart and figure out what wires fell apart or something. I open up the thing and it is packed full. I think a family of rats moved in.
Did they all scurry out?
No, there was nothing moving or alive.
So it was abandoned.
It was abandoned, but I will tell you, I pulled out 2 dead ones.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, there was a dead adult one and a dead like a adolescent,
Like a teenager.
Yeah, like a teenager rat, and they obviously froze to death in there. And so anyway, that thing was so jam packed full of shit. I was just like, oh my god,
With like twigs and
everything they could get their hands on. You know how pack rats are. They have it was pieces of plastic bags. It was like part of a napkin and a rag, mixed with leaves and acorns and anyway. So I rip open the thing and I was like, it stinks. right? All the urine.
Oh, this shit.
Right. So I put on gloves. I'm starting to clear the shit out of there, you know, and all this kind of stuff. And I'm just like, and then I was thinking, okay, well, I got it all cleaned out now. I checked all the wires. Everything's good. Still wouldn't fire up, and you know, figured out that it was something else. And I tried to get that little sensor taken off, and it snapped off inside the pipe.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. So now I had an open hole in the heater. And so I was like, shit, when this thing turns on, it's going to shoot water. That's exactly what happened. I just did it for fun. I turned on the pump, and I was like, it was shooting like 10 feet up in the air. And I was like,
Right.
shit, man, I got to plug this hole somehow because I need a new heater, right? There was no question the thing was dead, 20 years old or 10 years old. So anyway, I managed to plug the hole, and now I ordered a new heater, and now I'm trying to get bids on getting it fixed. You know?
Did you get the same size, or did you get a bigger one?
I got a bigger one, but I'm regretting. I should have gotten. I think you should go big when you're getting a pool heater. Go bigger than you need because it heats it up much faster.
Right.
Right, and that was a complaint we had about the other one. It took it like an hour and a half or 2 hours to heat up the spa, which is retarded, right? I mean, it's a tiny little spa. It shouldn't take that long.
Right.
So I think I made a mistake. I went from 200 BTU to 266 BTU, which is a pretty big.
Well, what's
jump.
the next step up?
Well, there's ones that are 400 BTU.
But it's probably 3 times as much money.
Yes, it was. And that was the issue, right? I was like, we never heat the pool. We only heat the spa. It shouldn't take that long. But maybe it's more efficient, and I'm really hoping it works out. But anyway, I've got it sitting on my driveway. I ordered it directly.
You could use one of our sous vides.
Oh, there you go. And just kind of
stick it in there.
Yeah. Get like 100 of them and just stick those in the spa.
Yeah, a couple of them. It'll circulate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's electric, so you have to kind of watch that.
Yeah. We don't want to get killed in there.
Electric, you don't want it to fall in. You have to attach it to the side. Put some meat in there, too. You can cook your meat.
Yeah, there you go. A pork butt.
Yeah.
Right there while we're sitting
nice
in the spa.
loin.
Yeah, put it in a little Ziploc bag, a little vacuum pack.
Well, how hot do you get the spa?
I think the hottest it will go is like 104.
Oh, okay. No,
and that's uncomfortable.
You want to get up to like 140.
Yeah, 100.
Yeah, no, that would kill us.
100 is uncomfortable.
Yeah, no, it's too hot. 98's like perfect.
Right.
Oh, it's got to be 99, 100.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's a big difference on there, right?
Well, yeah.
Anyway.
Well, your body temperature is like 98.6. So, anything warmer or cooler than that it's going to be cold.
Not exactly cold, but yeah.
Well, your body will feel it.
So I am, I'm getting bids to have people install the heater because I don't want to deal with the gas line. That's probably not something that I'm qualified to do.
Right.
So I got a bid for somebody to putting in the gas heater, and I have a bid to somebody to fix, because my pump doesn't prime. It's got an air leak somewhere. So I'm just going to have them tear out all that piping and redo the piping too.
Yikes.
I know. It's not going to be cheap.
What about, that sucks. What about any kind of cracks or leaks? Have you ever had to deal with any of those in your pool?
Not in the pool itself, just in the piping around the pump.
Right.
But not in the pool itself, thank God, because that can be really expensive for them to go find like pipes underneath the ground that have, cracked or, whatever. But no, I haven't.
What, do they have pipes running underneath the pool?
Well,
no,
yeah.
I mean like the actual shell, the actual pool itself.
No, I don't have any cracks in the gunite or anything like that. Although, you periodically you got to re-plaster the pool.
What is gunite? What is that made out of?
It's this type
Guns?
It's a type of cement.
Melted guns?
It is not. It's not. It's like it's almost like when they spray it. It's almost like you know how when they spray insulation in the roof. When
it kind of expands.
Yeah, when they spray it, it looks a little fluffier than like when they're pouring cement. But they just shoot it out of that little tube there. We're looking at the picture here.
It's called shotcrete.
Yeah, it's a form of concrete. But
gotcha. Okay, I never knew. I always say that these pools are made out of gunite, but I never really understood what it is. I guess they shoot it and they kind of smooth it.
A lot of the
exactly.
the main one of the main differences between like regular concrete and gunite is pure concrete is extremely porous. So
right, this has
gunite's
to be
less porous. So when it dries, it's still because it has to not absorb the water.
Right.
Otherwise, you'd be constantly filling up your pool. If it were a concrete pool, it would go right through the concrete. It
Right.
would like a sponge.
Well, it says today, gunite generally means just pneumatically applied concrete. Since gunite is made of concrete, gunite has the same ingredients as concrete. It's very repetitive. Cement, sand, and water.
Yeah, but
Maybe it's different ratios.
Oh yeah,
Maybe.
it's got to be.
Well, again, concrete is porous, so they won't typically make.
Well, do they cover the gunite in something that is not porous?
It says later, gunite does not have any pockets or voids that poured concrete can have. So it's really how it's applied more so than what it's made of.
Right. Maybe the pneumatic application is what.
Well, I'm trying to think. They but don't they take plaster and shoot it on top of the concrete? Because like right now they got to replaster our pool where we live.
Right.
They're not having to rip out concrete; they're ripping out plaster.
Well, that they just spray. I think they just spray plaster over the plaster. They replaster it. I don't even think they take the existing plaster off.
They're ripping our plaster off.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, I just didn't know.
They're taking a jackhammer and they're literally jackhammering about 1.5 inches of that plaster off to get down to the concrete.
Oh, okay.
And then they're spraying some new stuff because they have those really thick shoes not thick shoes. They wear those shoes like on nails. So
they can walk around.
So they can walk around
stuff.
and not leave footprints. And
right.
And then they sit there and they spray. They get this long ass hose and they
for
spray down
new plaster. For new
yeah,
plaster.
and they just and they use these little trowels and they flatten it up.
Yeah, I'm going to need new plaster at some point. I mean, because it discolors and then eventually, if your water chemistry isn't perfect, it kind of calcium builds up and
just paint it.
Well,
it's
it
nice
becomes
black.
Well, but there can be little holes in it too. I mean, it just over time it's just kind of
like sandpaper. It can like
right.
It gets rough.
Yeah, like if you're like walking across it, you can like literally scratch the bottom of your feet.
Yeah, I've been in pools that I've done that.
Yeah, I mean, and it has to do with. I mean, you never have your water chemistry absolutely perfect, right? Sometimes there's too much, like I said, too much calcium, not enough calcium. Sometimes it leaches, all that kind of stuff. So it just.
Do you have salt water or chlorine?
I have chlorine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started out with a saltwater pool.
I was gonna say you originally had salt water. I thought.
Yeah, and I pulled it. It
Does not work very well.
It just, I don't know. I just didn't want to. Honestly, I didn't to replace the cell every 3 years. It was like $600 every 3 years to replace the cell, and I was like, yeah, what the hell? I'll just go with tablets. It just seemed easier, and I'm glad I. Oh no, the biggest reason I forgot. The biggest reason was the boys would splash, right? Boys jumping in the pool. We couldn't keep anything alive around the pool.
All the salt?
Yeah, all the landscaping was all dying.
So chlorine doesn't kill it?
No.
Really?
No, not like salt water.
Interesting.
Yeah. Salt water is devastating for landscaping, man. And it wasn't good for just, lawn furniture and stuff like that. I mean, it affected everything. Everything rusted and
Well,
what about your
rust.
skin?
very corrosive, right?
Yeah, your skin or your health. What's better, salt water or chlorine?
Probably the salt bath.
Well, so the nice thing about the saltwater pools is that it can maintain a lower level of chlorine. I mean, ultimately, both pools have chlorine, right? But when you're doing tablets or shocking the pool, that type of thing, it has higher levels of chlorine than a saltwater pool. It keeps it nice and level, maintained. It's always running, right? The saltwater generator is always creating chlorine at smaller amounts. So I think from that perspective, it's probably better for you.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that salt water still had chlorine in it.
Yeah, it's just another way of creating chlorine.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it runs through that little cell, and I forget what the chemistry is, a little chemical reaction.
It's E equals MC squared.
That's it. That's the one.
Yes.
Yeah, excellent.
Einstein.
Time travel. Right. Anyway, so that was my that's my pool heater story. So yay.
We've
more
talked
things
about
to spend money on.
Throughout the years, especially when the boys were here, we've talked about getting a pool, but we couldn't
Electrolysis.
we couldn't bring ourselves to pay $100,000 for a pool.
Yeah, they're not cheap, man.
And that's for like a basic pool these days.
Yeah, the cost is on quite. I think ours was like $42,000. That was back in 2002.
Yeah,
they've gone astronomical. Apparently.
Yeah, and it was like, and you may get money out of it for the price you paid, but they say you don't get your money back out when you add a pool.
No, you don't.
So
I
you,
mean,
get, you get the fun of a pool, but
Yeah.
it's not an investment to say I'm going to get twice my house value.
No, you won't.
because of this.
It's not worth it. I would, like with my backyard, I would just get a hot tub.
Right.
Yeah.
Julie and I have talked about that. I get a hot tub.
There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong. Because it doesn't need to be a hot tub. I mean, you don't have to turn the heat on. If you want us to sit out there and soak, turn the bubbles on. You know,
During the summer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just sit in like you do a pool. Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we've
Play
had
some volleyball.
We've had some good memories over the years. You know, we always host. Yeah, we host the Memorial Day weekend and
I haven't been
July
in your hot
4th
tub in
and
quite some time, though. I mean, we've had a bad run on your hot tub.
Was the last time when all the Schmeg was on it?
Oh, it was like some fucking
Schmeg.
It's like an army of giants, like all took turns blowing loads in your hot tub.
No.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There was something going on there.
Schmeg.
Do you have to clean the pipes, or is that what the chlorine does?
No, we've never cleaned the pipes.
I don't know if that's a thing you have to do with the pool or not.
Like a gang of pigeons all came by.
No, I don't know what happened. It was kind of weird. I do remember that.
Yeah, it was. You get out of the pool, it's like stuck to your leg.
No,
you know?
it wasn't.
It's a froth.
Like, oh my god, what is Paul and Shelley doing in here?
No, there's nothing like that.
It's like after hours brothel.
I think we're ahead of the game this year because the water looks pretty good. So hopefully nothing crazy.
Do you ever have
happens.
to replace much water? Does it evaporate?
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I was having to add water every week.
Oh really?
Yeah, and I don't have the one. You know, a lot of people
You
tap
don't
in.
have a float valve.
Yeah, they tap it into their sprinkler system,
Right.
and then it automatically fills. Mine, no. I just drop a hose in the pool and fill it up and put the timer on the oven. And
So I'm going to fill it for an hour,
but I will tell you, there were times I forgot to set the timer, and we wake up the next morning.
and you rim it out.
Oh my God. Hours and hours of water just overflowing the pool, running down into the street, and all that kind of shit. I'm just like,
You don't
Damn
get,
it.
you don't
And
get
then
a
you
and then you
citation.
get that bill.
And it threw your chemicals all way off. And
Not so much that, but it's really the bill.
right.
No,
yeah.
and the embarrassment.
Yeah,
know?
you get $150 bill just for the night that you overflowed the pool.
And then the code enforcement comes in. It's like, hey, sir, you're wasting your water. Don't you know we're on drought?
Yeah, well, that's never happened, but they probably should have talked to me because I was an idiot. I think that's happened over 20 years. I think that's happened twice. But so that is the nice. Well, then I hear stories of people who have it tied into their sprinkler system and it malfunctions.
Right.
So it just sits there and
Just
keeps filling, and they're like, they don't see it
right.
because
Because right in the drain.
that's right. They don't see it like I do. My pool overflows and then it's obvious.
Right.
But theirs just kind of runs into the drain, and then then they get the bill because it's been doing it for a week.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's like a $600 bill.
Yeah, our pool down at our community pool has it's a closed system. When I say it's a closed system, it does overflow. There is an overflow,
Right.
but it's essentially a closed system. But up high, there is a drain up high, and it runs out directly into the street. So if you're aware of it and you ever drive by and you see it, then you're like, uh-oh.
That's not normal, right?
Yeah, so that was one of the markers that I knew.
It was kind of like the pipes, that overhang your roof when your pan
When your
underneath
AC
your AC fills up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder why that water's dripping.
Yeah, most homeowners don't know that.
Yeah,
They don't know that and you're supposed to put it over a window
so
so that you can see it dripping.
Well, you usually see the big old rust stains on the roofs
Right.
of the window. Like ours is right over Steven's window, and we have that little bay window that it's actually my bedroom. And when ours was doing it, and when we first started noticing is when it was turning the rust, you could see the sediment starting. And that's when we kind of noticed it.
Right.
Yeah, you don't know. Well, they've changed the codes a little bit to make it easier. And frankly, I don't know why they didn't do this sooner. Basically, what they're doing nowadays is they take the HVAC line. Yes, they do have an overflow still that runs outside. However, before they would run, like right now in my house and your house, probably your house, they run it down the drain into a bathroom.
They do. Mine. That's
and
mine.
it
Right.
dumps into a P trap, which is retarded. I mean, if you think about it from a scientific way, you're like, that makes zero sense whatsoever. So nowadays what they're doing is they attach it straight to an exhaust, which is basically an air stack, and because the air stack is just a way to keep to prevent it from getting stuck. It does away with the vacuum. The air stacks go right through your roof. Right. So that any off gassing from the sewer line won't get anywhere in your house. It goes straight through the roof. So the sewer line air goes up and out the house.
Ah, okay.
That's what air stacks are for. And so what they're doing is they're tapping into the air stacks that run through the attic, which makes absolute sense. They should have been doing that since day one. I mean, it's retarded that they haven't.
It's funny you say that because I'm trying to remember what the symptoms were, but I had a blockage somewhere. And it was leaking outside the house, and so I was crawling all through the attic, trying to figure out where the block was, and I was cutting pipes, and I was like looking down the pipes and like running wire through the pipes, and it turned out I had no idea I did this, but I was having to follow the pipes all throughout the house, like looking through the roof and looking down the walls, and it ran to my son's bathroom.
Yeah.
And the pipe went into the side of the thing, and it was just gummed up.
It's liquid snot.
It was a 5-second repair that took me all day of crawling through the attic,
Sweaty.
a whole weekend of cutting pipes and doing all sorts of crazy shit. But I had no idea. I had no idea that pipe went to that bathroom.
Yeah,
yes, all I had to do was disconnect it, stick my finger through the sludge, right, that blocked the hole. And
went right through.
And then the whole thing drained. Yep. I was just like,
water went everywhere.
Oh, I was so pissed. If only I had known. Anyway.
So is that clean water, the condensation?
Yeah.
Right off the bat, it is.
For the most
part. Is there no way to collect that?
Until it sits in the pan and gets reservoir?
Nasty. See, that's what I'm saying. It is absolutely criminal that we're not harvesting the water from these condenser units. Do you know how much water is produced from these condenser units all over?
You're talking about millions and millions of them, yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous. In my great opinion, I think that all these condenser units should go into lawn sprinkler systems, or what do they call it? Class 3? What kind of water they call
non-potable?
that? Yeah, the non-potable systems, the purple lines that they have. It's absolutely, it is an absolute waste of resources because condensation or that type of water is pure.
Right.
I mean, it pulls it out of the thin air.
Yeah, it's coming out of the air.
Yeah, so I mean, it hasn't touched the ground or anything. I mean, it's pure.
That's a great point. I mean, you're right. It's literally just wasting water.
That's what you do when you distill, right? You steam it, and it collects.
Yeah.
Sort of.
And then it drips back down.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting notion, and I mean, especially if you do have a pool. It almost seems like I would hook my condenser units up straight to the pool.
Drain into the pool.
Because
just run a big long pipe so it runs over just right in.
Yeah. And just hover it over the pool.
Yeah, like 20 feet up, just like a waterfall.
Just drips down. Oh, yeah.
Honey, we're gonna add a waterfall
effect.
Kids
can play in it.
It's a water feature.
It's a water feature.
Hold on. We're talking about a drip. I don't know what kind of water feature you want to play with, but that doesn't sound like all that much fun to me.
However, you know what? Compounded, there's a lot of drippage. I mean, you've seen.
Well, they say when you leave a faucet, like you refusing
your toilet.
Yeah, toilet that runs. Actually, that's even worse. But just the drip of a faucet that leaks and you just don't go fix it for 10 years. It's a shitload of water over time. I mean, and the toilet's even worse.
Yeah,
a running toilet.
If you hear it going dripping like that too, that's a bad one too.
Yeah,
I mean, toilets are immensely
harvesting, condensating, or HVAC line water. I mean, why aren't they doing that?
Is it drinkable?
I don't see why not. I mean, I wouldn't feel
as long as the condenser's clean.
Yeah,
right?
I don't. I mean, I don't know why it wouldn't be. It does have to hit the pan. There are elements in your attic that may not be fantastic, like the insulation. However, if you have a clean system, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if that water falls into some sort of filtration system, it won't matter. It cleans all that stuff out.
Sure. Hell, there are places that clean sewage water and recycle it back to homes.
like your reverse osmosis that you have.
Right. There you go. That thing wastes a lot of water too, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Did you know that?
No.
So the way it squeezes water through the membrane, it's very inefficient, and there's a ton of, I think it's called brine water, and it just runs down the drain constantly. I was like, I kind of didn't know that.
Yeah.
But
it's interesting too, wasting water subject. They have two different types of ice makers. They've got the same type that everybody's ice machine runs on, and that's like the uses a condenser unit that turns on, a compressor that turns on, that applies pressure to the pipes that create the freezing. Well, some of these ice makers, they don't have fans. Like our refrigerators have a little fan to cool the compressor down, right? Well, they have these. They're loud though, so they're not desirable for some restaurants and bars because you turn this big fan on.
Sure.
So they have what they call these water cooled compressors. So now you have a water line that will dump onto the compressor and cool it off, and
then run down the drain.
And go straight down the drain.
It's great. That's great.
It's ridiculous.
I honestly think toilets are a bigger opportunity for saving water than anything else on the planet. I mean, think about it. Half of the tank, sometimes the entire tank, empties when you flush the toilet.
Sometimes it's needed.
I know, but there's got to be a better way to handle human shit and pee.
Yeah, it's called an outhouse.
Well, okay.
You want indoor plumbing, or do you want to shit the hole?
I don't want to go to that, that level, but I just think there's got to be a better design.
Well, over in Europe, they have the bidets, which is even more water that shoots up your ass.
No.
Right?
I mean, they have these.
You don't
they
have
the
paper.
houseboat pots or toilets that you dump into this bucket and then it drops it into the. It's actually like one of these little sacks that they're quite unique. So you sit on the stoop, and when you look down in there, it's basically like a plastic bag. All right, and you do your business. And then you flush the toilet, and it's got an automatic little mechanism. Takes the little bag and snips it, and then drops it, and then whoosh, burns it, and then it incinerates it, and then it dumps in the lake. And then you got this other little plastic, and it goes right back in there it's ready to do it again. It's got the little bags that keeps
it just
filling.
Dumps it in the lake.
It incinerates it to ash.
I don't know if it'll dump it in the lake. Maybe into like an ash bin. I couldn't see them dumping if there's a bunch of houseboats. Some of these, like Lake Cumberland, there's a shit ton of houseboats.
It incinerates it though.
Yeah, but you're not going to be dumping a bunch of ash.
That doesn't
in the water.
sound good. Yeah.
I mean, they could. I don't know.
Be bad for the
I would
fish.
think they'd capture that, and then that's one of the things that you have to empty out. It's just like when you have an RV, you have the gray water.
You got
the black water, whatever they call it, right?
Pour that down the drain or whatever. Yeah, sure.
I guess all our houses could turn into that. You just have to, like airplanes, you have that blue water.
I just think
and
there's got to be a better design than what we currently have.
What if the whole sewage system was vacuumed, so when you hit the button, it just sucked it down?
Oh, like on a cruise ship?
Yeah, or an airplane, yeah.
Yeah.
It just
on a cruise ship, I mean, you got to be careful that it doesn't pull part of your ass cheek.
Yes.
I mean, that shit is intense, man.
So your butts go.
Yeah.
Your balls are like.
All right, so I stand corrected. So, what it says, the toilet owner is required to perform both regular emptying the ash container once a week or every other 100 flushes.
I wonder what that smells like.
What's ash?
Yeah,
so
burnt shit.
It's burnt shit. I mean, does it smell like a nice oak fire?
No, once you,
it's not like a bourbon barrel.
Once you incinerate something, there's no smell left.
Well, sure there is.
I mean, other than ash, like burnt.
I'm sure that styrofoam that Sean burnt didn't smell like a nice.
You were there too, throwing it on the fire. By the way,
God, black billowing smoke.
Oh,
I have burned styrofoam before. It is not a pleasant experience. It's a one and done. You don't.
I think you got like 3 TVs or something. And we had those huge styrofoam inserts.
No, God,
it was. Luckily,
and you did it at night.
Yes.
That helped.
Yes.
Well, it helped. However, the smoke was so thick it set off motion sensors down the alley. I mean, you would see like
neighbors.
you'd see
That's
like
so
everyone's
yellow.
lights turn on, and you're like,
That
"Fuck."
is so bad.
Yeah, luckily it was blowing away from. One time it switched directions, and we both scattered, but it was blowing that way. So luckily we
Scattered.
did.
Run
It
for your
was
life.
It was so
bad.
toxic.
Yeah, bad.
That was a bad idea.
Well,
Yeah.
we got rid of it though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was the goal of it.
Well, you could have just, thrown it in the dump.
No.
takes too much time.
Yeah.
This was
I
far
guess.
more fun.
I guess.
There was a lot of it too, wasn't
That's
there?
what I mean. I don't know. You got a bunch of TVs or something because there's a shit ton of it.
Yeah, there was a lot of it.
I hate styrofoam because even when you break it into chunks and you put it in the garbage can, there's like all the little things.
Little white beads.
Yeah, they just go
Yes.
everywhere, and then they end up in the pool, and then they're just all over the place, and just
Yeah.
I hate that shit. Styrofoam's just awful. It's not a good. It's not good for the environment. I don't think.
I don't know. I
It's
don't
a-
know if
it's
that's
a-
is that
it was a bad
biodegradable.
invention. I think.
Well, you just melt it, then it turns into like a melted blob.
Yeah, that's a good
It's
thing.
much smaller. You just throw that away at that point.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
All right,
Crazy.
well, earlier this week there was a museum.
Of natural history.
It was they were featuring the Miami artist Stephen Gampson.
Don't know him.
So it's a sculpture, and there was this person, a guest. A guest came in and accidentally bumped one of the art pieces.
Oh no!
It's kind of shaped like a balloon, like a clown makes those little balloon animals. This feature was like a little balloon dog, and
Okay.
it was out of porcelain in a metallic blue. 2021 piece titled "The Balloon Dog" was valued at around $42,000. Made of porcelain and measured
no.
about 40 centimeters by 48 centimeters by 16. It was big. It was more than a foot tall, and So, anyways, $42,000. I thought that was kind of a funny story.
I'd run.
Wait, did it shatter?
Oh, into a million pieces.
Oh, he bumped it, and knocked it over.
Yeah, the visitor accidentally knocks over and shatters $42,000 Jeff Koons sculpture at art exhibit.
Ah.
So
Are
does
you-
Jeff Koons go, you owe me money for
Yeah,
that?
are
Or is
you
he like-
liable?
or is he like, I could just make another one?
So it all falls
It's a
under
balloon animal.
It's
It,
insurance.
it falls under the establishment of where it's at. So that place picks up the insurance on it.
Could they sue the patron?
Well, I mean, if there was negligence, I would assume. Like
Like
they
if
were,
you're just walking
Yeah,
by.
that'd be different.
they were negligent, if they were like belligerently drunk and kind of bouncing into shit, well, then they could turn around and be like, well, bitch, you handed me like 15 glasses of champagne. I said no more.
Yeah, it's your fault for getting me shit faced.
Right.
Yeah, whatever.
And you gave me food
it
after I
was
started
an
drinking.
accident. But can you imagine being that guy?
Oh no,
That's like going up to some rugby guy and going, "Psh, rugby's gay.
Gay.
Yeah.
yeah, that's not advisable. I'm
Yeah.
trying to think. What is this? Like that? What is the worst thing? Like you did that? Like you were just horrified. I'm trying to think if I've ever, like you knocked down a display at the grocery store.
Well, I got in a car wreck. I hit a parked car
Ugh.
driving down a regular street simply because I wasn't paying attention, and
Watching Walking Dead?
there were no phones involved. They didn't have phones back then. This was in 1984. And I was driving this Aries K car.
So you're like 13.
But 14.
So you were
yeah.
illegally driving.
Yeah. And I was driving somebody's car that I borrowed to run up to the store real quick. And I was just driving around the neighborhood, and then it was one of those things where I was looking at something else in a different direction.
The
and
8-track tape or
I
something?
barely clipped it. Like, just I fucked it up.
Take
and,
the mirror off?
I hit at the corner of the thing and just contorted the whole thing. And my dad was just like, they had to take it to the shop, and he was just like, yeah, it's $500.
Back then, that was a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be like $3,000 today.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, that was hell to pay because my dad was kind of like, well, whose car is that you're driving? Well, why are you driving this person's car? You know,
Oh yeah, no, endless questions are coming after that one.
God.
Then what's
man.
funny is you caught Preston and Steven, probably the same age, driving, I think it was one of your cars.
Yeah, they were in my car. My car.
And Steven tried to lay down or something like
Yeah,
that.
he was all trying to hide. And
Hold on, they were driving your car?
yes, they took the car without permission, and I found out that they did it all the time. And Tara, she's such a bad parent.
She let
from
it
this
happen?
perspective. She didn't care.
Oh no.
And it was just like I was so mad, and I almost wasn't mad that they did it. I was more mad that they didn't believe anything was wrong with it.
Taking your
At
car.
least Steve had he was like, I know this is wrong, so I'm going to hide. Preston didn't care.
So they didn't wreck it. They just
No,
were,
they just got
No.
caught.
they were just driving
They got
it around.
caught. They were driving at Western. They were fucking around, and they were coming out of Western. And I was just like, "What are you doing with my
Oh
car?"
my god.
You know, and they, whatever, man. So yeah, nothing happened.
They're
and then-
12, 13, same age, I think, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they
They were
were.
in middle school at the time.
I don't think mine ever did that. But of course I'd have to ask them. I mean, they do all sorts of shit we never
you don't
know about.
You don't know.
never
Yeah,
know.
you don't
man.
know. You
Well,
really don't know.
I know me and my buddy, Sushi Jeff Lund, his sister had a 1970-something Mustang. No power steering, no power brakes or anything.
Right.
And we took that thing out when we were 13, 12 or something like that.
Such a bad idea.
And we ran into, I don't know who was driving, here or I, but, you know, you watched your parents when they drive, they let go of the wheel. When you have power steering, that goes back. When
Yeah.
you don't have power steering,
You have
to
you
turn the wheel
You have to
back.
move it back.
Yeah, you have
sure.
to move it back. Well, if you don't do that, you keep turning. And I don't,
Generally, yes.
yeah, and I can't remember who it was, but we ended up running into.
Oh.
I think we went to the gas station or something like that to get some candy or something like that. So we ended up running into like a gas pump, like that.
That could be really bad.
Yeah. So
And expensive.
we got in real quick, and it's like, all right, we got to take this back before.
Oh my God! You did a hit and run. You
Yeah.
did.
Of course.
12.
Yeah, of course. That's what you do when you're 12.
Yeah.
You hit a bunch of shit and you run.
I mean, it didn't do any damage, but it was enough to go.
We're in
Holy
trouble.
shit! Yeah, this is bad. So, yeah, it didn't knock anything down. It didn't dent anything, but
I've done some insurance claims that evolve around gas pumps. Those fuckers are expensive.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you're looking at, if you hit one, I mean, you're looking at $35,000 to $50,000. $35,000 to $50,000. In case you didn't hear me the first time,
Wow.
for one.
But don't
And
they,
a lot of
normally?
times-
But don't they normally have those big concrete? You know,
Those pylons or
pylons. Yeah.
but
so that you-
ballards.
yeah. How do you? You can't really run into one.
sure you can.
Can you?
Oh yeah, you
I
can.
mean,
run-
Yeah.
you're going to hit those pylons first.
Not
No.
all of them have those.
Oh, okay.
Well, the pylons are normally on the ends,
Yeah.
but if you come in and just like I did when we're driving,
Yeah, it
that
all
car,
depends on the
and
angle,
you, and
right?
You just keep turning.
Right. It's all
You can
the
run
angle.
right into
That's
it.
true. That's
So-
true. Yeah. I'm trying to think. So the most damaged I've ever caused, not car related, we were living in Japan, and we were in the 10th story of a 10-story apartment building, right? We were on the very top floor. That's where we lived for like 7 months. And
In the penthouse.
in the penthouse, yeah.
Mm.
And this is in 1978. And we were in the laundry room, and I'm in first grade. We're in the laundry room, and there's a big, deep sink that had no pipe on the bottom of it, right? It was just an open hole. And so I was playing with the knobs, turning them on and off, and no water was coming out, right? But I was just turning them back and forth, and my mom was like, snapped at me. It's like, goes, leave that alone, turn it off. And I'm like, turn it off, okay?
Nothing's on.
Nothing's on. Like, so I
Right.
was like, I wasn't sure which way was off, which way was on. So I just turned them both to one way, right? We go to bed. We wake up the next morning, and during the night, it turned on. And water, and it was a closed laundry room, right? So the water was running onto the floor,
On the 10th floor.
on the 10th floor, running onto the floor, rolling down under the door into the carpet. So my parents, they wake up the next morning and they put their feet down into wet carpet
Right.
in their bedroom. And my mom's like, what the hell? and then she realized water was just sitting there running, and then that's when people started knocking on the door. It apparently, and they had to call the lawyer from the Amoco oil company because my mom, all these people were talking to her in Japanese, and my mom was like,
They knew it was you.
I
that
need
did
help
it.
here. Water went down to the 6th floor.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Yeah, that happens.
Ran down the walls of all the way down to the 6th floor. So, and they were like, I don't remember. I always tell this story and I say it was like $500,000 worth of damage. I don't know what the damage was. But
Well, 4 floors.
a lot. It was a lot. I mean, and they were like mad at me, and I was like, it wasn't working. Like
Right.
it just came on in the middle of the night.
And it was your specific. That's how they knew it was you because it was.
Because I was the one that was.
Who saw you besides your mom though? A bunch of people.
No, just my mom. Yeah, my mom was mad at me. That's what I'm saying. Not anybody in the apartment.
Well, I'm kind of curious why the sink didn't have a drain.
Well, because it had not worked. I guess. I mean, it hadn't. No water was coming out of the spigot. So at some point, they just it became an abandoned sink, I guess. And somebody took the pipe off on the bottom and used it for another floor. I have no idea. But it was literally just running out through the hole onto the floor. Boom. Yeah, it was bad. And my mom was freaking out. And she got on the horn with, she told my dad, you get people from the company here right now to to translate and solve this problem because people were like really upset, right? I mean, all the other tenants were like, what the hell?
You're the youngest, right?
Oh yeah.
So what were your brothers saying?
I mean, no one could really get mad at me. All I was doing, I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was just playing.
And you have a sister, right?
Yeah.
How come I've never met them? I think have I met any of your family? I think I've met your brother once.
Yeah. I don't know.
Big, tall galoot.
He's tall.
He's about my height, a little bit taller. You talking about Peter?
Yeah, I get one of them. He was the D&D player.
The oldest one is shorter than I am. So
Oh,
anyway, yeah, that was probably the most damage I've caused from a, unintentional
Yeah, I've never done anything like that. I can
insurance
recall.
claim
I'm gonna have
type
to
of
think.
thing. It was bad.
Oh, man. Yeah, lots of stories out there from different dudes.
I mean, you
like
see it
us.
every day.
Yeah.
I mean, that's your job is to go assess stupid things that people did.
Yeah. There's a little song there. Dumb ways to die. Dumb ways to die. So anyways, the people like doing stupid things like
Darwinism.
Feeding bears and lions and
We
shit.
didn't even talk about our bourbon.
All right, well,
Elijah
real
Craig?
quick, slip it on there. Elijah Craig, it's 94 proof, made from Heaven's Hill. It's 2019. MSRP is really $26.
Is this
That's cheap.
12 year?
This is the standard Elijah Craig. That's it.
And it's
good. I like
It is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tasty.
solid. I'll
Is
give it a
there-
seven.
I mean, it's not a high proof, right? Which is why it's really easy to drink. It's 94 proof, right?
I don't think this is the 12-year, though.
All right, it's March 21st.
Oh, they removed the 12-year age statement.
It's Dudes Like Us. We're getting wrecked and ready for the second half. We'll see you in a second. Dudes Like Us, I'm Sean.
I'm Paul.
And I'm Jeff.